What is up, YouTube? It's your boy Alex here from Team Generations, and today we're back with another market watch. So a lot of things happening in the current meta right now that are driving kind of price changes in general. I think that in general too, people are looking to kind of start looking ahead and purchasing things for premium collections. So we've seen a lot of movement in some different cards, and I want to kind of point those out today. Today's going to be more focus also on like things you should be picking up, not just like what's really been expensive as of late, because I do want to give you some like value add to watching these. And of course, when I kind of do these, this is what I kind of look for, and or you know, when I watch other people do this is what I kind of look for, you know, what is the value stuff to be getting. So if you are interested in purchasing any of those, we do have a TCG player affiliate link down in the description below. You can shop to that link to help support the channel. Absolutely no cost to you. I definitely appreciate it. And thank you again for over 1,000 subs now. We definitely made it. Thank you guys so much. If you are interested in, if you are enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe to the channel. These get posted every single week. So let's hop right in. I'm here for cards. You're here for cards. Let's do it. Demon World Marquise Amon. So Amon has actually been trending upwards. We can see over here it took a dip and it was under $1. Just, you know, about a month ago, 2 months ago now, but now it's all the way market price of $3.29, and we're seeing it selling above that. It's about $4 for this card, and then once it gets 3 playsets of this get purchased, we're looking at like an $8 kind of price tag. And I know this was really expensive. I think that the floor here was $8 earlier this week, and I guess JP kind of posted a bunch of his copies over here as well. So also a really good seller, by the way. I really like buying from JP Skirt and Cole. Pretty fast, especially shipping to New York. I think he's on the other coast, but he's always fast, so I definitely appreciate it. But this card is good. It's good in both premium. It's good in standard as well, or V premium now, sorry. And I think it has like a lot of uses in general in Shaharat Amon, which I think is actually a pretty high tier deck in general. Maybe not the absolute best, but could be actually like really good. So again, this is kind of creeping upwards, and with that, the support, this guy over here is actually very generic and pretty good overall. We see again the price, same kind of thing. You could pick this up for under $1. All of a sudden now we're looking north of $2. So playsets of this are getting purchased in the past couple days for that $1.98, and once that $1.98 is kind of gone, again, Strictly Broken has the floor there with $5. So copies are flying off. I would kind of pick them up before they become really expensive overall, and I think the grade 1 is kind of ticking up as well. Whoops, I'm getting ahead of myself over here. Let's try to move that one back. But we are going to be looking at also No Life King Death Anchor. I know I've been mentioning this week over week, but again, it's just been increasing week over week. We see that the market price is $17, but people are purchasing it for way more. I mean, 4 copies for $30 each. This was purchased the other day, $20. What was it, on the 20th? One was purchased for like $20 there. And again, if you want a play set of this, you're looking at almost $100. So very expensive card, and I think this is kind of going to play into the premium collection card that essentially is, I think, like a finisher or whatever for that deck. This kind of is the build that you want to be playing in premium, in my opinion, right now for DI, and I think it's actually pretty good. And a card that is supporting both premium and V premium is Number of Terror over here, and we see again this card was pretty cheap a couple months ago. All of a sudden, boom, fast forward to this month, people realize for premium and in for V it's good. So market price is $5. Not really selling too high above that. We can see copies are flying off the shelves though in general. So you know, looks like the floor really is that $5 for this card, and it's a very good card. Definitely needs to be played in DI in my opinion. Over here, I think that's all my DI cards. Maybe, I hope I didn't screw that up there, but I just wanted to point out this too. Again, another card that should be played in premium. I think this is going to be, this and Musketeers can both be played with the new Stride, but I think I personally have this deck laying around in V, haven't really touched it for a while, so I was looking to kind of update and kind of create like a G-Zone for this and start my deck build, and I just noticed this is almost bought out. So we see copies of this were purchased this month for not too much, but over here, the floor, only 3 listings. The floor for this really, again, it's almost $100 for this playset, and this was a very popular card, always was, you know, this was popular in G. It has the waifu tax on it. It just really is what it is, and I think the market price is $13, but that's definitely not the real price. I mean, you're floating around that $20 mark, so maybe copies will come up on the market, but this can be used in premium. I believe it is pretty good in general. And also, same thing with the SVR. The market price is $22, and we see only 1 listing, 5 copies for $46. So very hot in demand, I guess, kind of card in a way. Not that it's getting purchased a ton, but I guess one got purchased today for $38. But again, waifu tax, value, etc., and I think it will be actually used in premium this time around. Over here too, whoops, that's not what I wanted to go into. This is a card I'm going to say pick up now before it becomes really expensive, because I think that this is going to kind of increase a little bit. I think this deck is pretty decent in premium. It's going to be fun. Plus it has, like I said, that waifu tax, but Prosperity Maiden Diane. This is GB1, other unit with the same name is placed. You're basically placing it off of the Stride. This guy gets an extra 10k. So if you're behind your Vanguard, trying to boost your Vanguard there, not the flower tokens, this actually gets really big. So good card overall. Was a little bit more expensive, came down. They're not selling for a whole lot, but as we can see, the past couple days, earlier this month, they were selling for like 49 cents. I bought a copy, I think it plays at 49 cents too. Now they're $1 card, so we're going to see this kind of slowly trickle up. And again, this is an old card, there's no other printings for it. Don't be surprised if this becomes a little bit more expensive, so you heard it here first, buy your copies. Over here too, another card that was really cheap, and I think it just spiked. I personally just bought a bunch of these myself. I got them right in front of me, actually. I don't know if you can see that there we go. But this card over here, Governing Flower Princess Selfina, I think this is actually good in Asha, personally. This allows you to kind of get like an extra crit on your Vanguard pretty reliably and just, you know, kind of pass it around to your rear guard. It's a stride you can go into a little bit later. Still flips one up too, which is pretty good. And this was, you know, last month, you know, $1.29, $1.99, whatever it was. Market price of $1.70. We're seeing that these guys are now $8. These are completely bought out. I bought 4, I think, yeah, I bought 4 the other day. I think that was me, actually, for $1.25. All of a sudden, all the other copies went. And then, boom, this is at an $8 card now. So what would have been like a really cheap alternate kind of stride if you didn't want to purchase like 4 of the old premium collection stuff, just became $8. So that is unfortunate. If you have copies, definitely list them. Over here, shifting gears to my favorite clan, Narukami. So both in premium and in V, I think there's still just, it's a really expensive clan, and it doesn't have to be that way, but I'll explain why. But anyway, over here, Voltage only has, I think, two regular printings. I think it has an SP also, but they're all kind of at that $25 price range, so just kind of wanted to mention that over here. And people are still kind of buying them, not hotcakes, but the market price is $11, but the lowest copy over here is $25. Let's look at other versions of this as well, because I don't want to lead you astray here. Yeah, but again, we just looked at Divine Dragon Caper one. Moonlit Dragon Fang, yeah, again, same thing, like $23. And again, there's actually different art on this, which is actually pretty cool. But yeah, if you want a playset, I mean, it's a whole lot. You don't need a playset of this card, in my opinion. But overall, this card has definitely jumped up in value, both well exceeding their market price. Over here, next up to Eradicators, very strong deck. I think the new Narukami stride is nuts. I think it's actually so good. I think people are realizing this too, and these are getting purchased out. Yeah, people want to play Eradicators. They realize this deck is good. This card is definitely good in the deck as well. This is being purchased $2.48 market price, and we see that people are purchasing it for around that $4 or $5 mark. And playsets are almost bought. You know, if you want a playset of this, it's, you know, $23, I guess it is with the shipping. But old card, no other printings of this. This is a promo card too, so kind of costly. Over here as well, same kind of deal. All those same principles apply to this guy, 2-sword Eradicator, Cohenchak. Cohenchak's been around for a while. People have kind of been on this card, but this is a $10 card now. Market price of $4, and we see people again are purchasing all throughout this month. And so yeah, $10 of cards is kind of nuts. You can get around using other cards as well, but I think this is actually a really good one. So people do want to play it. Dragonic Vanquisher 2 for V is still expensive. I don't know what else to say. Week over week, we just kind of been reviewing this. It's fluctuated. It's been a little bit higher, a little bit lower, but it's really that $30 price range. I mean, that's kind of been like glue for the past like 2-3 years since it's come out, honestly. So at that price range, Chitora 2, only one printing of that, absolutely nuts, becoming so expensive. So again, this deck is good in V and in premium, so it is what it is. Really interesting card too, Dungaree. Dungaree is actually the deck I recommend to most players who say, oh, I'm new, I want to get into V. Also, Dungaree is, I believe, competitive and actually really cheap. You could probably build the entire deck for under $40. We have a profile on the channel, so go check that out as well if you are interested in kind of building it. But this guy, the SP, is really interesting because it was a little bit cheaper. It was floating around that $6. Yeah, we see the $8 market price over here. It kind of floated around $6 for a while, and then it bumped all the way up to like $30, and then I guess people listed their copies for like $11. I feel like that's not bad, but I wish it was still a little bit cheaper, because I don't have 4 copies of this quite yet. But yeah, just wanted to point that out. Eradicator, Gauntlet Buster Dragon. I'm actually going to say now is the time if you want to purchase these. They're a little bit cheaper. You can get some copies cheaper. I'm not saying like, you know, this is a hot card. It's not a meta card or anything, but like this card was floating around $12 for so long. So if you can get it like for $9, I mean, it's been years this has been out. So I might actually spring for it if I wanted to kind of play this or have any interest in Eradicators. It's a good alternative ride, still puts pressure on early. You can have like a real turtle game with it. We do have an Eradicator build, 2 of them actually on the channel. One of my most popular videos actually was my original Gauntlet Buster one, so very proud of that deck profile. I really did like that deck at the time. Over here, also talking about V kind of translating into premium as well. Night Rose, good in V, good in premium. This is one of the top tier decks in premium, especially so. In V, it's still very good, if not one of the best decks. But we saw this card did kind of dip around like that $20 price range about a month ago, but now we are back up to $35 market price, and we see it's even selling beyond that. It's now like a $40 card almost. If you want to purchase a playset of this, you're looking at like $140. It's like this is actually scary. This is a card that definitely needs a reprint. I'm so looking forward to like the revival collection that they do for V series. I also want another premium one too. I definitely hope they come out with one of those, because the last one was really good and kind of got, I feel like, a lot more players into premium, or at least, you know, willing to put their foot in the doorway, which is a good thing in my opinion. I love all three formats. I play all three formats. I practice all three formats. Over here as well, along that same line of thought, Ghostly Leader Beatrice is played in Night Rose, and vice versa. You can kind of focus it on her or Night Rose. A little bit cheaper than Night Rose, but at the same time, this is still very expensive, $12.45 market price. And we see copies are selling today for way over that playset, selling for 14. An extra 2-2, another playset, both for 14. And we see that floor kind of is around there, $14 for a playset. So really, this clan selection volume plus or whatever, volume 1, is actually really crazy. Hidden value across that entire set. So if you pick those up, I mean, good for you. This is a card I did not expect to really hit this high, and I'm kind of like mind blown. Dudley Davey. I was almost gonna make my profile for Spikes Premium, but I was like, I don't know if to really call it budget or not, or kind of how like I want to approach it, and I feel bad because I don't think I'm gonna post it now because it's just not budget enough to really play. And not saying I have to post it because it's budget, but I feel like other channels have kind of done it a little bit better. I was gonna kind of do like a budget spin on it, but this card has blown up out of nowhere. $4 market price, which that even was high for it, and we see people are purchasing for that price. And the bottom for this card now, the floor, is $9. So I believe this deck is good in V. It's definitely not like a top tier deck, but at the same time, for premium, it's kind of has that like a high roll potential of Overlord with like Rising Greed on, and this guy is part of that deck. So really crazy. So there's really 3 or 4 different deck builds this is in. This is in the premium Rising Greed on. This is in regular Dudley Bull Spike. This is in Dudley, I guess you can do the regular Dudley one as well, and then the Dudley reverse. So I guess those two can kind of be combined together at this point. But I know some people who still just prefer the pure Dudley, not the reverse version. And this guy's in all those decks, so it doesn't surprise me. And, you know, the copies are moving. This is like, you know, late in this month this is happening. We see the price just skyrocketed. This was such a cheap card. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. Same thing with Demonic Lord Dudley Lucifer. Again, this is one of the older ones over here, so this whole set is just increased so much, and it proves that there really is value in V. A lot of people sold off their collections, but we see like people still want to play it. This guy over here is now going for $5. It was a lot cheaper. I mean, last month you could probably have purchased it, yeah, around that $2 mark. I think I got a bunch of extra copies around that $2 mark too, aside from my regular playset. And again, people are purchasing these the past couple days or so. I mean, this is not the most expensive card ever, but again, just cards that were $1 all of a sudden jumping up to $5. Prices are increasing. And then Dudley William kind of along the same lines. I'm not going to go too deep into that, but it is above its market price, $1.18 right here. We see it selling for $2. That's kind of the floor, so double its market price. Nothing to scoff at. You know, there's if you want a full place of this, you know, you're looking around that $10 mark, so it is quite a bit. Things are just slowly going up in general. Kind of shifting over to direct premium, Windkiller Misery has been going up too. This is a crazy card, $6 market price. This is really good. Just to read it off, just so you can kind of understand. Counterblast 1, choose a card from your hand, put it into your soul. Giving yourself soul is huge in this deck. And then when this unit attacks, it's a Vanguard. If it's boosted, you may pay the cost. If you do, search for one card not named the same as itself, call to an open rearguard circle. It gets 5k. So in a deck that has, oh god, what's the stride? The Soul Blast 1, keep swinging, replace it. It has that, you know, this helps fuel it, this helps the multi-attack. This deck attacks so many times. It feels like an Excel deck in Force, which can actually be really, really deadly. So I think that's why we're seeing, you know, copies being purchased this month at that $10 price range. And again, if you want to play a set of this, you're looking, what is that, 15? That's just under $60, $48 around there. So kind of crazy. And then lastly, this guy is nuts. So this is Shoot Down King Miracle Ace. I don't know if a lot of people are just big into Spike Brothers, or there is a lot of content around Spike Brothers, I feel like, especially for premium, and it looks really fun. It hooked me in, it made me play it. I actually really enjoy this deck, and this is one of the cards you do kind of use in here. Market price of $6.95, and it's just skyrocketed. We see people are purchasing for $18, and this is, you know, just a couple days ago. There's only one listing for $17. That's really $19.50, so kind of crazy. And this is the only printing of it too, so there's not like alternative copies to purchase. So if you have them, maybe list them, you can definitely sell them. Shifting gears once again, Evil Stealth Dragon Yamishibuki. I think I'm saying it right, I'm not sure, but this guy again, clan selection plus volume 2. There's clan selections are just going to keep increasing. They're really, really good buys in the long run. We saw that this card did take a dip, and you know, last month you could have gotten around that $2 price range, but people are purchasing this for $4. I play this in my premium Daihosen. I also have a profile of that on the channel. I think it's actually an amazing card. Helps with the early pressure, helps just get things back into your hands. You know, there's very valuable things you want to get back in your hand. This is a general good card, can play in basically any of the decks. I personally really like it. I think it's necessary in premium, and I think the market price really reflects that. So if you want a copy of this, it's about $5. It's about $20 for a playset now, when it used to be about $5 for it. So it's kind of insane. This guy over here too, let me just refresh just to make sure no other copies were kind of posted over here. Yeah, very unfortunate, but Gerget has finally hit the spike. I've been talking about Gerget for weeks now. I was talking about it when it was like $7, $8. Even, you know, you can get copies around that price. I played this last week at locals, and I just absolutely blew everybody away. This is like one of the best decks. I've tweaked it since I've last posted my profile. I think this is just the best deck of V right now. Even with just one Percival, it just makes it so oppressive. It's good defensively, offensively, hard to keep up with, has so many good just generic cards. And again, a playset of this is now back up to like $100. This was, I'm kind of between converting my Ezel deck to premium or this. I was between for so long. Then I saw a little bit earlier today somebody listed it for $7. That was actually me who bought those copies, so I'm sorry about that, but this guy is super expensive now. Cannot believe it's actually at this market price. I didn't expect it to jump that high. Over here to Explosive Dragon Sarco Blaze. This is a card that was so cheap for so long, $1.60 here there. All of a sudden we see the market price $1.40. This is a $4 card now. You know, Chex Mix cards has 49 of them. I guess they bought them all out, or just, you know, had a bunch in storage, whatever the case is. This is actually really good. You know, your opponent just can't call grade zeros if this guy's engorged, so could be a good finisher. It doesn't gain power, but the next, what was it? The new stride essentially allows you to restand, so doing that twice is actually pretty difficult to kind of contend with, and maybe that's kind of the whole idea behind it. So this guy definitely jumped up in price. A lot of Tachikaze movement. The Ancient Dragon Spinal Commando, this guy jumped up too. We see people purchase this back in January for $18. That's crazy. $12 market price. Not a ton of movement on this, but I don't know, this was jumping. I feel like I saw this somewhere. Somebody said something about this, so maybe now is a good time to purchase. Let me just read through it really quick. Stand, choose a grade 3, so yeah, then break 4. Put some Vanguard and Sinister, Counterblast 1, Ancient Dragon is card name, and you Ancient Dragon card is put into the drops on your turn. That goes to call this card to open. Okay, so it just kind of saves it. This is actually decent with one of the Ancient Dragon strides. I think, you know, you still have to engorge your Vanguard with the new stride too, so it could save it in that regard. But you could also do that with the Gaia stride. I guess it just has the Ancient Dragon name, so interesting card. Savage Shooter. This is less about Savage Shooter, just more about the value that these older sets really have now. We call them older. They're still the, you know, the new printing of these sets, but Clan Selection Plus Volume 1, again, insane. And this is like a lesson that if there's a generically good card for your clan that is not like tied into one specific archetype, purchase multiple copies of it, especially if you build multiple decks for that. Like Savage Shooter used to be able to get 50 cents, $1, and now it like takes Tachikaze, a clan that has typically been like one of the best values in V series, and it's just made it like really expensive. Like I can't sit here and be like, oh yeah, include 4 of these in your deck, still a budget deck. So I have to kind of find ways to kind of go around that at this point. But we see copies are being purchased today, like 2 playsets purchased today. $5, $7. Like this is a very expensive card. Some of the things, Extortion, Dragon, Spino Extort, I like this card personally. A lot of people like Mega Rex over it. They're interchangeable, but things kind of ticking upwards there. Over here too, lastly, I think this is the last thing for Tachikaze. This Gguard, this is actually one of the only decent Gguards for Tachikaze, aside from the one that just got reprinted in the clan, you know, the premium collection. Barrage Giant Cannon Bullish Primer is way above its market price in both regards. Excuse me. This guy over here, $7 now. Oh my gosh, how many listings are there? Let's check it out. There are a couple different listings. Geez, 50 cards has them for $8 each. That is nuts. Let's also look at this one, the Revival Collection. Yeah, people are purchasing. This was all today. A playset of this was purchased for $20. Jeez, wow, $5. Yeah, exactly. This is crazy. This is a expensive Gguard now. Wow, it feels bad to say, but it is what it is. Over here too, we are going to be talking about Shadow Paladin. So I think the Shadow Paladin in general is actually strong right now. It's not the best deck in premium, but we see a lot of people are purchasing Dragonic Lure. This is bouncing all over the price. Market price of $11. People are purchasing at $15.15. I see it floating around the 15. All of a sudden, I saw it jump up to $20. 3 copies were just purchased. I think this was, yeah, the other day. It is, yeah, $20, essentially $19 for one of these. I think you only need like 1 or 2 of them in your deck. I forget off the top of my head. I don't really play Shadows Premium, but definitely a card that is trending upward. Same thing with Drag Strider Luard. So this card has, again, been battling back and forth. Market price of $14, and we can see that we can kind of get it for that price, a little bit cheaper even throughout the course of the last 2 months. Now, I think premium is really hot. People are gearing up towards it. People want to play premium. Competitive season is here too as well. So this guy is selling for $22 the other day. Yeah, a couple of these copies, $22. Only one playset, 50 cards for $22 each. Only four copies, 1 listing. Insane. This over here too, this was one of the worst ideas they've ever done. I think in Vanguard there was 2 VRs per clan. I think they started to do it after the set a little bit more, but this was the first set that they did it in V series. This is the VR rarity for a grade 2, which is absolutely nuts. They just put the Shadow Paladin tax on this hardcore, and I don't know why this is jumping so much. You know, earlier this month a couple copies were purchased. You don't use this in the Revengers deck. I think Mordred in general, obviously you would use it in there, and with the promo card that came out, I think with entry, I think it's an entry promo, I forget, for Springfest, there is something that does support blasters now. But this is Nullity Revenger Masquerade, $27. If you want to place it at this, you're over $100. This is crazy. This is a VR rarity, so it's a little bit rarer. I think the SVR version, did I pull that up? No, I didn't, but I think the SVR version is like right around there, if not cheaper. So I could see that actually becoming a little bit more pricey, because we set the floor with the VR and just to raise the ceiling on the SVR. So that's my philosophy, at least. Speaking about Revenger Mordred as well, market price of $17. We see copies are selling a little bit later this month, around over that market price. And if you do want to place that, you are still looking at $100. I remember I paid $100 when I first purchased this way back when Phantasmal Steed came out, and it's just held up like wonderfully. Copies were cheap. They were like $12 about a month ago, earlier in January. I guess, yeah, it did jump a little bit, but it's been all over. Honestly, you know, you should have picked your copies up by now, but at the same time, older card, VR rarity, sucks, but this is definitely increasing. Over here, again, just a generically good grade 1 from these clan collections. We see Apple Witch Cider is, again, just continuously going up. Market price of $4. People are purchasing it for that, and there's a lot of movement here. So what does that tell me? That like, look at this. Like, first off, if I want to buy a playset of it, I'm going to be $1 above. But I should have been purchasing this card, which I personally did do, just gradually. You know, I need 1 playset, I need 2 playsets. Boom, this set has like matured a lot faster than the other ones. This is out of the latest clan collection, 3 and 4, 3/4 or whatever. And I think that people kind of get the idea now. Like, you have to purchase these generically good cards while they're really cheap. Let's see what the bottom was. Yeah, it was like $1 over here. I remember I purchased a bunch of copies when I saw it. I said when it first came out, don't purchase it for $5. Let it drop, and it did drop. You know, the market floods, but now we're kind of back up to that hype kind of price, and it really just is justified. This is an amazing card. You need it if you're playing Genesis. Still on that Genesis kind of train over here, Exorcism Regalia Shiny Angel, a card that is $3. You know, playsets were not that expensive at all of a sudden is bought out. This guy has 1 listing for $15 each, so if you have copies, put them on the market. You will sell them. People want to play Regalia. This is used in Regalia. It's actually so good. So only 1 copy of this as well. EB Waltz of the Goddess. I don't even remember which set that was. So yeah, that is interesting. Uranus Blau Cougar too. I don't really know if Blaus are going to be used with the new Stride. I'm personally using Beast Deities, and I'm very excited about that build. I think it's actually very competitive. But I noticed this guy was ticking up as well. We see over time, you know, super cheap, market price of $3.22. People are purchasing this within this month for $6, so something might be going on. It's not like being flying off the shelves, but you know, maybe something that I'm missing is occurring here. But if you want to place it at this guy is like $20, which is above its market price. So I just kind of wanted to print that, call that out. Blau Cougars are really cool. I love Blau. And then I couldn't believe this either. This is the GB8 for Nova Grappler, Fang Dragon Kingfish Driger. I think that's how to say it. This guy was, again, I purchased this card about a year ago or so. Super cheap. Let's see here. Yeah, I guess it's been expensive for quite a while. I just didn't even realize. I do want to point this out. I guess gradually over time, yeah, it's just been increasing. $15 market price. We see that it's selling, you know, for $16.49 here, and I think it could increase throughout. It's kind of stable at that price, I guess. There's a lot of listings for it, but I did not know it was that expensive. This is actually a viable thing to go into because oh god, what is it? Is it Bustard, the name of the one that Soul Blast 1, flip a card, Soul Blast 1, flip a card? Every time your Vanguard restands or rear guard restands, add the drive and whatnot. So I think this is actually a viable thing to use, and this is really a finisher, a huge finisher in the Nova Grappler deck. Shifting gears once more to Great Nature. Great Nature, again, another deck I'm kind of putting together for a premium. Big Belly, I noticed a lot of the Gguards are just super expensive. All throughout this month, they have been purchased. A lot of things in general kind of ticking upwards in Great Nature. There's another Gguard too, I think I called it out last week, but again, I just wanted to mention that these guys are pretty expensive over here. I don't know if I purchased it for this. I personally didn't. I don't think it's worth it. I think the new Gguard's pretty good too. And, you know, in a deck like Great Nature where you can high roll victory, I don't think you really need to rely necessarily on your Gguards here. This Triad is actually getting a little bit more expensive too. Market price of $7.24. This is Sagest Professor Big Belly. I think there's like an SB printing, but there's no other regular printing of this guy. This guy is selling for above that, way above that. So $13 back in February. Copies aren't flying, but again, the market price has been set a little bit higher than that. So with Great Nature, Premium Collection, and so on and so forth kind of coming out, I just kind of wanted to bring that to your attention. And another deck too, so I watched the Legacy Cup last weekend, I think it was at the time of recording, and I think the guy who came in second, what was his name, I forgot his name. He didn't play the Geoma Glass, but I was just like, wow, that was like such a cool deck in Premium. So Dieliner is definitely, I think, good in Premium. I actually converted and bought like a bunch of stuff for a G-Zone. I think I'm going to convert my regular V deck into that now. And this guy is very expensive. Market price of $14. We're seeing that the copies are selling way over that. And again, this was all at the end of this month, the other day. $25, so $100 for a playset. And this is a card you need a 4 of in Dimension Police. Personally, I believe in Premium. Over here to the SVR, same deal, insane. I remember I bought an SVR for like $12 or something. This guy now is selling for $37, $42, and market price of $26. We see the copies, there's only 2 listings. There's 5 copies total, $55 per copy for the SVR, which I think is cool, but I honestly like the background, I think, on Dieliner as well. Kind of reminds me of like the train there, like that, going fast, so... unfortunately, just very expensive clan, always kind of has been. But on the flip side, this card is actually kind of dropping. So Super Dimensional Robo Kaiser. I pulled one of these, the SPs, the other day from one of my prize packs, and actually noticed the market price of $13. You can pick it up for $8 right now, $8, $9. There's a couple different ones at that price. So I think that people were super on this hype train when it first came out, but at the same time, they realize it's very fragile in V. It's decent in Premium, I guess you can use it, but there's not really like a huge calling for it at the moment. So definitely interesting there. Good value buy, I guess. Dimensional Robo Kaiser Grade. So this guy essentially gets you to Superior Ride onto, I think, a Grade 3. Basically just making sure that you stride a little bit earlier. Kind of crazy. This guy's $20 per copy. If you want to place that, again, it's right around that $100. And there's only a bunch of, like, this isn't a really old card. No other printings of it. It's such a good card overall. What was this, a double rare or something? Where does it say it here? Yeah, triple rare, actually. Yeah, so it's hard to get your hands on this. It's actually such an amazing card when you think about it. Definitely more all-in playstyle, but yeah, very expensive card, and yeah, really just shows. Over here, lastly, just kind of following up, finishing up, actually, shout out to you, Paladin X Rider, if you are watching this. We just traded, I had a bunch of extra Dragon Empire stuff, and he sent over 2 copies of this, one regular, one SR, and I couldn't believe, I was like, oh, they're expensive, but I don't know how much they really are. When I looked at it, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe there's one listing for the regular copy. Let's go into this one here. One listing, $50 of selling, $50. I mean, this is literally today, yesterday, the day, a couple days before. That is so crazy. Market price of $37. This is a $69 card. One listing, 4 copies. I don't even know what to say. This is like actually criminal. I remember I had like 4 of these in my cart for like $2 each or something at one point. I was just like, I'm not gonna play D Police Premium. I don't need it. But lo and behold, here I am. So who knows? And then let's check the SRs too. SRs are selling for that $69. Oh my gosh, that's a real market price. That is real. So forget this $35. This is insane. This is $69 per copy for an SR. Wow. So the guy who came in second in the Legacy Cup, which is awesome, by the way. So shouts out to Team Gradelock, Legacy, Team what was it? I think they're the ones who run it also. That's why it's called the Legacy Cup. Amazing event. I always love watching it. Like the commentation is great from Mama John over there too. He kind of keeps it exciting the whole way through. So really enjoyed watching that event. And this unfortunately came in second, but he didn't run Geoma Glass. So that was very Chad deck, I like to call it. Moving over here too, I just want to kind of touch on this because I think this is the better of the two sets, volume 3 and 4. I think 4 has more residual value throughout. As you can see over here, regular copies of Raging Full Reverse are still like $8. Some SPs are kind of jumping up now too, which is actually pretty cool. Gold Paladin one's kind of falling. This guy is still falling. I think people are realizing how good Revengers are. This guy is increasing. For so long we saw copies were not selling. Now they are selling pretty steadily, I guess, as steady as a VSR could be. I pulled one of these too, which I'm really happy about. Yeah, wow, yeah, Cecilia is going up too. Just some standard value, and I know I already touched on the Amon stuff too, so yeah, definitely solid overall. And again, I think that's just going to mature even further. Really interesting too, the latest set for Overdress, set 4, did get another reprinting. So let's just look at the prices here. Still pretty expensive for Seraph Pure Light, the SP version of this. There's tons of listings at that $16. I would wait a couple days still to see what would really fall. Brainwash Swirlers finally coming down a little bit. That's really good. Bastion Prime's getting cheaper. Things in general are like coming down like $1 or $2, but in general, it's not changing too much. There was a huge scare with like Verena Esperardia the other day. This is some of the stuff that I traded to my buddy for the Geoma glasses. Yeah, this was selling like hotcakes the other day. Let's look at the sales history here. $10, $20. Oh my God, somebody bought them for $30. Insane. $10, $10, $10. I guess I never really sold for that $15, $16 price range. But over here, if you want to place that, it's still like, you know, $40, $50. So more or less is what it is. I don't think the reprinting did too much so far to move the needle on some expensive cards. Let's see, anything else crazy? No. Magnolia Elder. I think Bruce is actually so good. I have like a really decent build for it, and one of my other teammates too built it like a separate way. I think I've been trying to build a deck for so long, and I failed so many times throughout the course of this meta, but I'm really like happy kind of where we arrived at. So it's why it's so important to have like a good play group, people that you actually trust and whatnot. I would take their deck lists any day, so that's exactly what I did. Over here, again, weekly session of me ending on bitching about the Overtrigger. Still really expensive. Let's look at the base rarity copies, because I'll let you know the collector's market kind of have the high-end stuff. $25 for Dragon Empire. It's great. It's really good. Let's play the Protag Clan. Oh, $25. I think I'll skip. $18 here for the Brancate one. This guy, $25 too. Wow, this is actually above its market price now too. That's bad because I actually need one. Wow, Source Dragon, Deity of Blessing, Bless Favor. Jeez, I think Ghidorah really spiked this over here. This is $25. Magnolia is really good too, I guess. Anything else too crazy? No, $7 for a hollow thing. That's great. $5. Again, it's just tough to be like, okay, get into this game. By the way, the unattractive cards, you have to spend $50. It's $50 to get into it. $25 for a Overtrigger, $4. Let's just call it $5. Run this up to $5 times 4. That's $45. You're in immediately for just the Overtrigger and your perfect cards. So that is very unfortunate. But thank you guys so much for watching so far. Oh yeah, I just wanted to mention Shadowcloak too. Shadowcloak was really expensive, but it's been selling like hotcakes again. It's kind of steadied out at that $4, kind of $3, $4 price range, and I don't think Ghidorah is going to last. I didn't feel like covering Ghidorah again this week. We did it last week. It's a very, very good deck. We all know it, but Shadowcloak is kind of falling. So now if you are going to play Mega Colony for or Order Colony for your Springfest, pick it up now. It's definitely as cheap as it's going to get. So thank you guys so much for watching. I know these videos are a little bit longer. I'm sorry if I kind of ramble. I just like to get my thoughts out, but thank you again. And if you have any questions, let me know down in the comments below. I look forward to seeing your comments every single week. This is Alex from Team Generations signing out.